Why are you famous? Like, why do people know your name?
De dag dat zeilmeisje Laura Dekker...
16-കാരി Laura Dekker ആണ്.
Laura Dekker.
Kan Laura Dekker.
Laura Dekker has left a port in the Netherlands, hoping to become the youngest person to sail around the world alone.
Most well known from my trip around the world. I sailed around the world when I was 14, finished that successfully when I was 16, so I'm the youngest person. Still, somehow.
Of course there were moments that I was like, what the hell am I doing out here? But I never wanted to stop.
Well, we are in the Netherlands for the Met Street Show, and while we're here, we are taking this opportunity to visit a friend of ours. But before we get in, we still have a little bit of online work to finish because we do run a YouTube channel, which brings us to today's sponsor, Surfshark.
Surfshark is a VPN. For those of you who don't know, that's a virtual private network, which means you can change your IP address and you can make it look like your computer is in a different country.
And we used VPNs a lot in the last couple of years because we traveled a lot for a living and we basically tried to have access to any public Wi-Fi that we could to upload videos or to do online work. And the good thing about Surfshark is that they also add a layer of security so that when you do access to public network, your data is secure and safe.
On this road trip, we actually have satellite internet on the roof, so we're not connecting to nearly as many public Wi-Fi networks as we used to. However, we have been in 7 different countries in Europe in the last 2 weeks, and so being able to kind of look ahead and plan ahead into the countries we're going into, or bounce our IP address back to Italy, or bounce it over to North America so we can get search results in English if we need them. It's been very beneficial because when you search for things just on Google, you don't often get the most accurate results. You get a lot of sponsored stuff and you get a lot of maybe most relevant results, but sometimes we're looking for very specific things like a mechanic in the Netherlands, for instance. And so while we're in Germany, we can look for it there and we can bounce our IP address over to Amsterdam so we can get really good local results in Dutch, which we then have to translate. But it's definitely helped us find things that don't normally show up on that first page of Google.
And as a bonus, we can also unlock and stream some movies on Netflix that are not available in the country we're in. So that's
Disney Plus or Hulu or HBO Max.
Yeah.
Ones that just don't work outside of North America. Yeah.
So movie night is always possible. The best part is one subscription covers an unlimited amount of devices. So both Dan and I have the same plans, and it covers us for the laptops and the phones and the iPad and all the other devices that we may have. So right now, Surfshark is offering a special deal. So click on the link below, is surfshark.com/sailinguma, and you can get 4 extra months on your subscription. So check it out. And on that note, we are going to head inside. When you were 14, how did that work? Like, did you have your own boat? Like, how did you learn how to sail before 14?
So I was born during a circumnavigation for my parents. I grew up on boats. So I've always sailed from when I was very young, and then we lived on a shipyard because my dad is a boat builder and he was building his own boat. So I was seeing a lot of boats and got boats, loaned boats, borrowed them, fixed them up, sailed them. And then I bought my own little seaworthy boat when I was 10.
Wow.
Sailed around with that. I wanted to sail around the world in that boat. It was a Hurley 700, so a 7-meter.
Okay.
Little
Small.
boat. Yeah, but for me, the small boat would have been great because I'm not that big and strong, and having everything smaller is so much easier and lighter. But then basically the childcare in the Netherlands thought it was a very bad idea that I wanted to sail around the world on my own. So they started a couple of court cases against my parents, basically, and like took their care away from me. Yeah, it was crazy. So it kind of went from I want to sail around the world to everyone has an opinion about me and I need to go and live in a home for children now and can't even live with my parents anymore.
They took you away from your parents because you wanted to sail around the world?
Basically. They said that my parents were bad parents for allowing me to do such a thing. But then, you know, my parents know me pretty well and they knew I was going to do it anyway. So. So that was a long fight. And during that fight, some of the judges decided that I needed to have a bigger boat. So I sold the little one and then bought the boat that I sailed around the world in, which was a Jeanneau Ginfish, a 38-foot
Okay.
catch. In the end, it was a nice boat because I continued living on it for another 8 years. I don't think I would have done that on a 7-meter boat. And because it was a catch, the sails are relatively a little bit smaller. She was also really fast, which was nice. Yeah, so in the end, you know, it was a very nice boat. But of course, it was heavier and it was more expensive as well. And yeah.
But that was the kind of compromise you had to do in order to just get out there
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long did it take you to sail around?
From St. Martin to St. Martin, which somehow kind of became the like start and end point, it was exactly a year and a day.
Pretty
But-
quick.
Yeah, pretty quick. But I did stop a lot. Like, I really wanted to see the world. That was kind of the main
We have
idea.
we have a prop.
This thing has literally been around the world with me.
Oh, you had
I
this-
had this globe on my boat when I sailed around. Yeah,
It's
I would track my track on there. So I think I've had this thing since I was like 12.
So show me, where did you start, and then show me the route.
So
Can you see?
yeah, that's
Okay. It's like show me, but show them.
yeah, exactly. So from the Netherlands to Gibraltar, I sailed together with my dad because we kind of wanted to test the boat out. Then Gibraltar, Canary Islands was the first solo trip. It was really scary and exciting and amazing and everything at the same time.
Okay, pause there. Was this your first solo trip or your first solo trip on that boat?
First, like, yeah, solo part of sailing around the world. Now, I sailed solo to England and around the Netherlands, but no big crossings, mostly a couple overnights. So from there to Cape Verde, then from there to St. Martin, a couple of the Caribbean islands, Bonaire, through the Panama Canal, Galapagos, Hivoa, then to Tahiti. I went to a couple of the French Polynesian islands, went to Tonga, went to Fiji, Vanuatu, through the Torres Strait to Darwin. Then I decided I wanted to see what it's like to be at sea for a long time.
For longer.
Longer. So I sailed straight to South Africa, which was 48 days, and actually that was amazing. I really liked the long stretch at sea. It's so peaceful. Then Durban, Port Elizabeth, Cape Town, and then in one stretch back to St. Martin. So that was another 41 days.
And then from there, did you just decide to do it again?
Basically, so then I decided I didn't really want to go back to the Netherlands. I really wanted to see New Zealand. I was born in New Zealand and I really wanted to go back. Most of the other tracks in here are boat deliveries I've done.
Okay.
Most of all this scratching is what we've done with this boat.
Now you're running basically a school for kids to teach them how to sail. So what made you decide to get to that point?
I think through the years after you do something like that, you start to realize how much it has changed me and how much I've learned from it and how valuable those things are. I also sometimes I would kind of work for a girls' high school as like a help teacher in the outdoor section. So do like sailing lessons or help out with camps and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed that. I just loved interacting and working with young people. And I also realized how much value there would be in sending them through a hard time on the boat, because it's probably getting more and more with life. It's easy to give up on things easily. And there's a lot of input from everyone on you should do this or you should do that. And then of course there is also social media, which especially I see on younger people and on teenagers can be really, how do you say, influencing on their life.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, especially for that age group, create something where they have a space to find out who they are, what they think about the world. And I think sailing is an amazing way to do that. Because if you get into some crappy weather or life is hard, you're not going to call up your mom and go, pick me up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to step off the boat and walk home. You have to do it.
You have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, and you have to be part of, in this case, a team. In the beginning, they find that hard, but at the end, it's so valuable because you are part of that and you actually feel the importance of I'm here and I am contributing to this whole ship functioning and sailing and going places. It's incredibly rewarding. It's really cool to see their transitions. And especially for me, having done it as a teenager, it's so cool to see them kind of going through some of the similar things. Of course, there's differences in that we are now a team and the communication is so much more important and things like that. But they are still finding themselves, and that's really cool.
That's cool because it's not just about the sailing. It's about life lessons.
We don't see ourselves as a sailing school at all. Like, of course, we get kids who want to learn how to sail, and that's easy. Of course, we can teach them how to sail, but it is much more about finding themselves or doing something else where they have the space to think and figure out who they are, where they want to go.
So what's the youngest age? What's your age group for this for your sailing programs?
So the main age group we work with is 12 to 16. That's like the main programs we run, and then we do summer camps, which is officially 8 to 12.
8?
Yeah, 8 to 12. Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine myself at 8 years old, going on a boat for multiple days.
Yeah, 10 days.
Figuring it out. Yeah, that's intense.
It's really cool.
Do you have kids from all over the place, or is it just mainly the Netherlands?
Yeah, no, actually, we rarely get Dutch kids sometimes, but internationally.
Nice.
I think we've had 20 different nationalities so far.
Nice.
So that's really cool. That's a part I like and try to stimulate as much as possible, to have a very various group of people on board. Because it's so cool to learn from each other already. Like, oh, you come from there, and how do you do things there? And cultures are also different, and they get to help each other with their schoolwork. And I think that's cool. If you all come from one country, you miss that aspect.
Yeah, and you get to make friends from all over the place.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, they stay in contact with each other and with us. And
Yeah.
It's very cool.
So when you had the idea of doing this program, did you know about how many kids you wanted to be in the program? And did you start with a smaller boat, or did you have a bigger boat in mind? Or
No, I had a lot of years of thinking about the program. It was always my idea to not sail with too big a group. I never really wanted to have a ship over 24 meters or more than 12 kids, because first of all, you get into a whole other set of regulations, right? But the most important thing is, and especially what I've seen from the last couple of years, is bigger groups, you start to kind of miss being personal with each other and personally getting to know each other. So we can take 10. Personally, I like taking 8 students. That's a nice group, and it still feels like sailing as a big family, because we take our own 2 kids, and then they're there, and you still have the flexibility to see what do they want to do, and what should we do together, what should we eat. You can still act like a big family, whereas if you go with bigger groups, then you can't, and it all becomes very planned and very organized, which is great for some things, but the flexibility gives me room to let them make mistakes much more easily as well. Like, I let them cook and try, and if it fails, then you still have the option of saying, oh well, we'll make something else. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would imagine that, because
cool.
like as a small group, you have time to give quality time to each one of them, versus as a big group, you might not see the mistakes at a certain what's the number of
and
kids
you get the
do.
group forming as well. I think if you have a really big group, they don't have to necessarily mix. Like they really do their own thing, and so you automatically create that people who kind of are interested in the same thing go together. With us, we don't have that, so we usually have kids that are very different from each other, and they just have to figure it out. And that's cool, because then you really learn to respect and accept people for who they are, and I think that's a very important lesson.
So tell me about this boat.
Sander and I wanted to build a boat, and that didn't happen. We designed it, but then COVID happened, so that just didn't come through. And this boat I had visited many years before, when I was already thinking about running these programs, and I thought first about a second-hand boat, and I looked at a lot of boats and couldn't really find anything that I liked. And this came the closest, but the owner was asking a lot of money for it that I didn't have, and I thought, well, that's not gonna happen.
But you put it in a back,
Put it
in
somewhere,
a bookmark,
you know,
just-
in a box in my head.
just in case.
And then when the build of Guppy XL didn't happen, I said to Sander, well, there is this one boat that I visited that I think has potential when we change it to be suitable for the programs. So I just wrote the broker and asked if it was still for sale, and it was.
How many years after was that?
5 years after. Yeah,
Wow.
which tells you a bit about the state the boat was in.
He's like, it's still not sold. So.
Yeah. And, you know, in the meantime, the owner had died and the kids were kind of fighting about it, and the broker was done with it. And I knew the boat was in a really bad state. Like, I already knew that the first time, and of course in 5 years that didn't get any better. So we got her for a very good price eventually. And then sailed her to the Netherlands. So we bought the boat in France, sailed her to the Netherlands, and just did a lot of work. It's been a long process, but we have always kind of done trips in between. So we did the most important, like really safety things in the beginning, and then started sailing. And since then, we've just kind of upgraded and made things more comfortable. And
You basically did what we did in the very beginning, which get the boat and then along the way figuring out what you need, what it needs, and how to make it better and upgrade the systems. Versus what we're doing now, which is just
but now
start
you've
from
had it for a
scratch.
long time, and then eventually, no. But I do think, or I've seen a lot of people who buy a boat, spend like 5 years refitting it, and then sailing with it, figuring out that some of the things just don't work.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, we focused on it needs to be safe and it needs to work. It needs to be practical. But then along the way, we thought, okay, you know, this would be much handier, or let's change the layout of this. And of course, we also have 2 kids now, which changes things a little bit. So yeah, I like it. I like the sailing and then refitting a part again and sailing again.
Right now, you're working on renovating the front part of the boat.
Yeah.
Can you run me through what you're doing, what it was before and what you're changing it to?
Well, basically, so the hull is polyester, which is quite rare for a boat of this size, and which is why we like it, because it doesn't have that much maintenance. But the inside was pretty much all built in Taiwan. The boat's mostly built in Taiwan, and so it's a lot of wood. All the beams, all the bulkheads, all the structure, it's all wood. And the previous owners didn't really take care of the boat, so there were a
like
lot of
rotten
leaks.
wood.
A lot of leaks on the top, and so it was all rotten, especially if bulkheads start rotting, that's not good. One of the later laps, we started to notice that if we sailed, it would just like flex this and it would do this.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, you see the rigging kind of coming loose on the leeward side, thinking, oh, okay. So we just reduced sail and sailed conservatively, but yeah, something needed to happen. So last year we already did a little bit on the mast construction because the masts were off. And then this year we decided to rip everything out and replace all of those bulkheads and put in a couple more web frames and basically re-strengthen where needed. And we're also, since we're ripping everything out, changing the interior.
Yeah.
You know.
I was going to say, it just
Anyway.
sounds like a larger version of what we're doing with our boat.
Well, we're just doing the fronts. So it's basically the same.
Yeah, just the front is our boat. It's like you have more space in the front than we have in the entire boat.
Maybe, yeah.
Are you doing all your work yourselves?
We are doing all the work ourselves. It's just way too expensive to have people do it. And I really like doing it ourselves because then you really know how it's done. And later on, so I've done like all the electra in the boat. We've done most of the plumbing in the boat. It's so nice if we're in the middle of the ocean and something fails. I know exactly where to go. I know exactly how it's wired.
Yeah.
Sander is a boat builder. Like he works as a composite boat builder. So this is
This is
he's
jam.
basically back to
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
So
Only
we
it's
kind
passion.
of we divided. He does most of the fiberglassing and the kind of structural work. I do the electra and the smaller boards.
Yeah. How involved are your kids in the program?
They're great to have because they kind of break up any awkwardness that is between the teens sometimes, or if they're like kind of annoyed at each other, Tim will come like, "Whoa, what's up?" You know, like it's so great, and they know the boat so well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim will definitely tell them how to do things. They don't always listen, but he knows actually.
How old is he?
6.
6. Yeah, so he's at the age where he understands how everything works.
Yeah, he
basically.
does actually. Yeah,
Nice.
but it's too normal for him. I think like he doesn't understand that other people don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, come on, of course.
It's like, this is a winch, duh.
Duh.
Of course you turn
you
it.
hoist the sail here. Well, why didn't you know this? Yeah, it's very funny to see it. But he loves the sailing, so that's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devil.
Speaking of, hello.
Or... I will hold it, and you fit in your jacket. No? Yeah, like that. There you go.
Nice. Good job.
You can do it a better trick, right? Like, yeah. And then.
Epic. It's a blueberry monster.
Done.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Let me suit up too then. We're going to the cold side of the boat. That's why we're suiting up. Do we have to access it from the outside then?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because we didn't cut out the doors yet. And we
Okay.
won't as long as we don't really need to, because we'd lose a lot of heat through it. Yeah.
Let's go.
So we have a really strong ventilation in there, because otherwise you would come into the living quarters. Yeah, here you still have a bit of a visual of like what it used to be. Welcome in my realm. Yeah, there was a wall here, and then there was like a toilet here, a wall here. But we're gonna lower this floor so the floor is the same as in the back.
So was the rest of the boat this bad?
Yeah, all these bulkheads are wood, which this is good, but where it's close to the hull, it was just rotted, and we had like a lot of pieces where above I could just stick my finger through. And then you know that, yeah, through like this kind of stuff. You think,
Like, that's not attached. I think it's gonna probably feel really nice that you guys have your own private sector.
exactly.
And then-
And the boys kind of need it. They will have their own bed, and they really wanted to have a window because you know they used to sleep up here. It's just kind of this dark stench room, and
But as a kid, I feel like it's a playground.
Yeah.
That doesn't
I think it's
matter.
nice that they're a little bit further back and
Yeah.
they'll have their floor space here so they can play and
Yeah, for sure.
You're
Are you
not-
hoping to finish this before you're ready for your next passage?
Yeah, this is gonna have to be done in May.
Wow. Okay.
We'll race you.
Our entire boat versus their bow.
It's the same size.
Keep going.
We race one more time now.
Wow! Look how tall it is.
Please don't
You're gonna show me? Show me where you sleep.
smash. No.
No.
Oh.
All right.
You're definitely
Show me everything.
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 Okay, but I'm not gonna show you that.
No, you
yet.
don't have to show me that.
My favorite toy is this. Yay! Well, this was normally a bed, but now it's getting a little bit messy because the teenagers aren't here.
Oh, okay.
And here is the toilet, and there's the shower.
Mirror.
That's where I brush my teeth.
Okay.
And this is my bed for now. And this is mommy's and daddy's bed. And this is your guys' bed.
Wow, are these all your books?
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's the toilet. There's the shower. No mirror this time.
No mirror.
This is the kitchen.
What's your favorite food?
Pancakes.
Yes.
No, my favorite food is waffles. Okay, this is a little bit messy. here, Daddy's and Mommy's bed, our bed, and there are gonna sleep the teenager.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
There's
the tour.
more.
There's more.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, go for it. Whoa. Nice.
Okay, that's it.
Nice. Well, thank you for the tour.
I like the fact that you can have like a full-size boat and a boat under construction
Yeah,
at the same time, and still have like a completely legitimate living space.
yeah. You guys sleep in a fan, and we
Yeah.
just sleep in the back of the boat.
So you guys did that middle section already
Yes.
last
Yeah.
year.
Last year,
And that was
yeah.
all like the diesel tank, water tank, new engines,
New
just sort of like
engines,
under
yeah.
salon area.
Yeah.
And now you're doing basically the whole forward half of the boat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your timeline on this? When did you start the gutting of the forward section, and how long do you think it's going to take?
We start roughly a month ago.
Wow.
This section will be done the end of this year, so all the interior will be back.
Other than the boat kind of flexing, like needing to do the work underneath the mast, what was the goal for like this whole like, forward renovation?
So Laura and I bought a boat
Yeah.
roughly 4.5 years ago. And the first year we slept on a quarter bird. It was 70 centimeters wide together. And the year after we extended it a bit, so we had a 1 meter bed. But for years now we are planning to get a proper design. We want to have, it's not a king size bed, but at least 140.
Right.
The boys slept all the way in the front in the V-bird. And when we were sailing upwind, the bow, because we have a nice V-shaped bow, it's going up and down, so there's a lot of movement. So they end up sleeping in our bed, and we slept on the floor on the couch. And we came up with a plan to bring the boys further back.
And then all the kids on board, all the teenagers that go around the Atlantic, they all sleep in the back then.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit of separation.
Yeah, the
That's
aft
nice.
section of the
nice.
boat is for the kids.
It's going to make a huge difference
Yeah.
having that space. How did you get so good at building boats? Not many people do
Yeah,
this.
well, as a young kid, I had a dream to cross the Atlantic, and in my eyes, the best way to do that was to build my own boat.
Nice.
So I took apprenticeship as a carbon fiber boat builder. I did a study as a carpenter and a wooden boat builder. I took all those skills
Some proper learning.
and lots of experience. So
Super.
I worked
So
in
you
the
built a few
business for a
boats.
couple of years, and from average to high-end boat building. Yeah.
And so you have to get this done before the next season, I guess.
Yeah. So the next season starts at the 1st of May.
And you're going north again this year? Into
Yeah.
Norway?
So we are
come?
planning to go to Iceland.
Nice.
You need crew.
Yeah, we always need crew. So if you're enthusiastic and you want to join,
That would be fun.
Hi, Alex.
I like your spot. Give me this.
What? This is my secure filming position.
Look how much build space you have.
Yeah.
have fun.
Bye. Love it. Hold on, it'll take a while for us to get there. gotta get my steps in.
Oh, that's our old water tank. We took it out, and because we took the entire interior out, the bow went up, and we have to compensate it a bit. So we filled up the water tank in the bowsprit, and now it's
ballast. I saw pictures of this not having a bowsprit like this before.
Yeah. So it used to have a wooden bowsprit with a board on it, so you can walk to the forestay. But of course, you will be this height,
Right.
and then you will tip over quite easily. And the best spot on the boat for the teenagers is here and watching dolphins and other sea creatures. And then we thought it was too dangerous, and the bowsprit was really, really narrow and
It was just like a wood.
wooden teak
Trunk,
beam.
yeah.
And we made a foresail slightly bigger, so it was 45 square meters, and now it's 90.
That's double.
Double, yeah.
It's more than quite a bit.
And we couldn't, well, we were afraid that it was not strong enough, so we integrated the entire bowsprit into the hull. So the new bowsprit is fiberglass, and it's like a U shape, and it's solid fiberglass. So
And it's glass. I don't even see where the seam is. Like I can't tell
No,
where the new one starts and the hull stops.
So the inner staysail is still the old hull, and
Okay.
from there on it's all new.
That's awesome. You said that like all of this now is going to slide forward.
Yeah. So the windlass will be just behind the inner staysail,
Just like here.
and then this big hatch can be located where the windlass is now, and then the watertight bulkhead will be lined on this point.
So you're moving your center hatch forward because it was in the way of your new hatch.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds very familiar.
And then we add 2 small hatches for
Right. Ventilation
for the
on the-
boys for when they're in their new.
So they're going to have
Bunks.
a good amount of space. They're going to have
Yeah.
like a bunk on each side and some floor space in between.
And some floor space in
Yeah,
between,
nice.
and we will make a foldable table so
Yeah.
they have their own space to study or play when we have teens on the boat.
Nice.
And
They'll be able
yeah.
to like grow into that space, it sounds like.
That's high, huh? It's the mast. Yeah,
I agree.
all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
that
always
a-
very excited if the sails go up.
Is that a carbon fiber spar or is it aluminum?
It's aluminum. Aluminum. I like catch because you can balance it out a lot better.
And especially if you don't, do you have any, no, this is all mechanical. You don't have hydraulic winches or anything, so.
No,
Yeah.
no hydraulic. We do have one electric winch for the Genoa, but the rest is all manual, which is nice. Got stuff to do
That's
something.
why you have 18 teenagers on board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll put
Yeah.
them to work.
Yeah.
You go bike with Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Great with Daddy.
Bye.
Gotta go on a ride. If solar on deck, did it come with the boat? Did you install it?
No. When we bought the boat, it was so incredibly inefficient. It was set up so that the generator had to run permanently. So everything was like 230 and just using a lot of power. So we installed all of the solar on top of here, there, and then on the aft as well. So I think we're at 1900 watts of
Almost
solar.
2 kilowatts.
Yeah, which is really nice, but of course the boom is on top of it,
Right.
so we don't usually get the full advantage of it, but it's still a lot, because we're a lot of people, we use
Yeah.
a lot of power, we bake like 5 breads a day, so the oven is running continuously.
And it's electric?
We use the electric oven.
Yeah, okay,
So
cool.
we have a gas oven, but we rarely ever use it. We use this gas stove, but then we use the electric oven.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now I'm really happy with the solar. I think if any space I can find to put solar on, I'll put solar on. I prefer it because it doesn't make sound. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just great.
Passive.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn it on or off.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love solar.
And that whole Dodger, we
Yeah.
should move back there. You guys built that too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. The boat came with like this little kind of race cap. like this.
Just over the companionway?
Yeah, and then it had a bimini, so if you'd sit in the corner of the cockpit here and a wave would just like smash right into your face. It was amazing, like a perfect setup.
So you guys built this last year, the same time you built the sort of interior salon fuel tank
Yeah.
setup?
Yeah, exactly.
Looks really good. It doesn't look like out of place on this
Yeah,
boat at all, which
we
is
put a
hard.
lot of effort into it. So first we made kind of a wooden structure, and we'd keep walking back and forth and looking at it and thinking, okay, is this going to fit? And playing online a little bit, like coloring over pictures, and it creates so much comfort. You can put your wet clothes under there. We leave our shoes. Like it's another storage unit now. But especially the teens are nice and dry and comfy. It's great.
How
It's
much does she weigh for 77?
45 tons.
That's heavier. What's your average?
What's our cruising speed?
Yeah, like what's your passage planning speeds on an Atlantic loop?
If I do a passage plan, I usually go 6.5 because
Yeah.
I know we're not gonna
On
push.
average,
We're not
yeah,
pushing the boat. But if we would push the boat, I think 8 would be very viable. Yeah.
Like all sales.
Yeah, but we
range.
we just don't because there's no reason.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
like to find the balance between enough sail to sail comfortably, but not pushing.
So you're not just bobbing around, but you're also not like
You know, no. If you don't
clenching
put up
your
enough
fist.
sail, that's just horrible.
Yeah.
You're not doing anyone a favor with that.
Yeah, just adding too much stress on the
Yeah.
boat.
No, we've served her down a wave at 16 knots once, and that was very scary.
So the first year you guys had the single engine, or did you take the single engine out?
The first 3 years we had the
First
single
3 years
engine.
had the single engines.
Yeah,
How do
and
you
it was
like
not
going
very
from single to
reliable.
double?
It's amazing. It's
And
amazing.
even though they're so close
yeah.
together, do you still get like different maneuverability?
Yeah,
And
so this single engine, the prop wash actually went under my rudder. So I had no prop wash on my
Yeah.
rudder, and it's like a semi-long keel, so it just didn't
turning
really...
was a suggestion, not a.
Yeah. I did a lot on my bow thruster, because it was kind of, I really needed speed to do something, and how are you going to do speed on a distance like
Yeah,
this?
you don't have enough to get.
Yeah, so
moving.
no, I can feel it. I can, even though they're not that far apart, I can work with the engines, and I use the what do you call it? Like the
Prop walk?
Prop walk.
Yeah.
I use that a lot.
So you guys,
your advantage.
the propellers are going opposite directions.
Yeah.
So you can use like if you want to prop walk one way, you can use one
they go
engine
like
to forward or
this. So
reverse,
if I
or the
put
other
my
one forward or
starboard
reverse.
in reverse, my stern will go
Yeah.
to port, and if I put port in reverse, my stern will go.
So if you do
starboard.
one in forward and one in reverse, you get kind of double
I
prop
can
walk, and you
actually
can really go.
like turn around on my engines. now,
Nice.
which is really cool. It has.
And they're pretty close together. That's impressive. You can still get
Yeah.
that kind of maneuverability.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Like, of course, we always hoped it would improve the maneuverability, but that was
Right.
not the main reason we did it.
Right.
It was just the reliability and having separate systems. But yeah, the maneuverability is actually a lot better, which is great.
That's pretty sweet.
Do you want to tell Kika how people can come on board to sail with us? How do they do it? Do they write us?
Yeah.
They write us an email. And then we talk to them, right? On the video. No, honestly, but you just write an email and then we answer, do a Zoom call. It's pretty laid back and we just stay in contact and figure it out together because situations are different for everyone. So, Alex, do you wanna tell
Can you say
anyone
cheers?
something? Do you want to cheers?
Cheers.
Here.
Oh, there.
Can we do a
There we
cheers?
go.
That's it. You
Cheers.
need a cup.
Yeah.
Cheers, Alex.
Yeah. Thanks for making time.
Yeah, you too. Safe travels.
No.
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 Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.